Homies, it's been a week, huh? You really haven't seen a whole lot of me. For good reason, but, mostly my own fault. Sometimes our own passions and ambitions can be the exact reason why you fuck up the most. A hyperfixation, a good obsession can go a long way. And it's good to be able to pry yourself away from those things that you love most to give them the time they need to grow. That is not something I did this past week, let me tell you. Last time you saw me, it was ChikinJake Complex Day, whatever. That went okay, but I felt like garbo. I told you guys before, I did the 335 overhead squat earlier this week, and that was wonderful. I don't regret the lifts that I do because I'm just trying to do the best that I can in the moment that I do them, to the highest ability that I can do them. But yeah, it really shredded my left side. My rear delt, partially my rotator cuff, and the tendon next to my elbow on my left side. No pulls, nothing hard, bad, or anything. I wouldn't even classify myself as injured. But there's just slight tweakage in all those little parts. But when your contingency points have small tweaks, they go a long way. And I told you guys all the time, when bones, tendons, ligaments, nerves, joints, whatever, when the parts that make your body move have even the smallest tweak, it can make it to where you can't lift anything at all. And when I came in for my power snatch, power clean and jerk day, that's exactly what happened. I tried to put on 205. I was supposed to go to 250 on power snatch. I've just done that before. I've killed that. And the high impact just kept ruining my elbow and just making everything harder. Decided to call it, recover, whatever. I have a big trouble. I'm not going to say it's like, I don't regret anything I do in the gym. If I'm giving it my best, I'm never going to regret that. But yeah, I definitely, I've gone too hard this week. I have this issue where I'll have that kind of slight tweak, but in my brain, I'm like, nah, I'm not injured. I just need a day. So I took that day off to do recovery stuff after the power snatches, chilled out. The next day was a rest day anyway, so I basically got 2 days to chill out. I was fully planning on coming in the next day after my rest day to do my max out snatch and clean and jerk. It would have been the last heavy day I had for those lifts before competition. And yeah, immediately again, the hard high impact on the joints and the cuffs, not moving. And that's okay. It truly is. I just did some light work on both lifts just to get the maintenance work in. Because this is the one thing I've learned throughout all of my lifting. This is something I've always known. And you got to be humbled sometimes to remind yourself of what's truly important. And there's a huge misconception that PT, lifting weights, even going light, is what recovers your injuries. It's not. No physical exercise is what directly heals your injury. PT and maintenance work is what makes it to where when your injury is healed after time has passed, then you'll be able to jump back on the wagon at 100% without having a whole bunch of deload or rebuilding back into it kind of shit. You can be just as strong as when you left off. It's to maintain while the time that needs to pass for the injury to heal happens, You can't rush it. You can't force it. You have to just accept that for now, it's time to just relax. And typically, I always say, relish in the time that you have to recover an injury. You don't get a lot of time to rest in this life, especially when you've committed yourself to the gym like I have. And so when some recovery time pops up, embrace it. Have a good time not doing shit. I don't get an excuse to chill out much, and it was a good time to finally just relax and not worry about it. So I've just been doing lightweight. So today, I started hitting that point where I was like, I need a win. I need something to start working again, And although in the moment you're not going to really understand what the extent of that could be, I typically always say and preach and know that when you feel the need or the obligation to go heavy just for the sake of getting a win under your belt when you've been eating shit, it's probably not a good time to fuck around. I did not make that choice today. Again, today, I played too much. And I'm not, again, no regrets. I did what I wanted to. I did it to the best of my ability. I have a set of principles and prerequisites in place so that no matter what happens, I am not worried about getting injured on days that I know that I can do the lifts. I take one lift at a time. Even the warm-up, the lightest warm-ups I have, I take each of them at heart. And I do them to the best of my ability so that the heavier I go, the more confidence I have. And today was going to be back squat max and bench press for just like some light work, just to like get some good stabilization in the shoulder. Because today's still supposed to be the last day of the program. This, if everything had gone the way it was supposed to, this still would have been heavy back squat bench press day. So I was like, okay, I'm programmed to do this. I've still earned some heavyweight. Let's just have some fun, you know. Let's not worry about it. If I can only do 455, who cares? Even less, you know. If I can't lift, I don't care. So I came into the gym fully fine with not being ready to do anything. To my surprise, I get to 455, and 455 is now easy. And I'm like, well, shit. I'm definitely in a new level when it comes to my squat. But I got a little bit of an ego in that moment. 455 flew. I'm like, oh. I didn't even have to think about it. There was no kickback or anything. I felt great. 475, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. 475 flies. I'm saying flies. Little bit of a grind, but that was the PR last program cycle. I'm like, shit. And in the midst of wanting a true win and getting ahead of myself, I did the one thing I said I would never do. And again, I don't regret it because these are the choices that make me better in the long run. It's how I humble myself and I learn from myself. But I put on 5 plates. I have not hit 485 before. I've done 475 last time, and 475 moved so fast this time. I was like, fuck it. Let's go up 20 pounds instead of 10. Let's make the jump. I have a week until I lift in comp. Even if something feels more tired than I expect it to be, I have a full week to recover. So I put my ass on the line. I line up as best as I can. And no, I did not hit 495, as you could probably fucking tell from the thumbnail. I have never been so close to hitting a squat max that I not only get past the 90-degree point, but I get stuck in the sticking point after the 90-degree point because my upper back rounded just a little bit that I needed it to stick in for. And all that pressure went to my middle back. I lost all my quad drive, and that was it. You know, bar scraped the shit out of my neck, and I dropped at the moment I started feeling myself pass out because you don't want to be stuck in the sticking point for too long. That makes your risk of injury go way up. My middle back is pretty shredded. It feels like I did heavy front squats after a while of doing nothing. You know, it's like that kind of like peel off the bone kind of shred. No injury, no pull, no nothing. Like, I'm fine. I'll be completely fine tomorrow. But it's unfortunate that the one time I chose to fuck around when I truly did believe I had it in me to do 495, we all know that if I put 485 on, like my principles typically tell me to do, you know, my prerequisites, if I had done the weight that I was supposed to do, I would have crushed it. And because I went so hard on squat, I chose to just leave bench alone. Because last time I benched, this past week, I did the 350 pause bench, and it went great. Like, it was super prepped for, but it was still fucking with my shoulder a little bit. I didn't want to test anything today. Because while I may be while I may be my own biggest obstacle sometimes, especially right before a competition, you know, you get so excited and so much pressure is built over time that you just feel the need to go harder than you need to. You should be just relaxing coming up to comp, man. Don't make it a stressful thing. Enjoy it. Make each session matter in its own way to where there is no lack of confidence. There is no lack of doubt. You're just having fun, not worried about the weight, just doing what you can to maintain until you get to go have your big day, you know? And sure, I may not perform at the level I exactly want to when I go to comp, but I know for damn sure that at least right now, this humbling day is what I needed. I needed the day to be able to look at myself and say, hey, man, chill the fuck out. Like, we are doing too much. And right now, I am at the peak of my strength. I damn near hit 495 today without much training this week. That's awesome. And I guarantee you, if I did my squat properly, I think 365, if my arm was fine, absolutely would have gone. I feel the most peaked I've ever been in all of my lifts. And just because I'm fucked up this week does not mean I will next week. I know my body. I know my injuries. I know my tweaks. This is not a tweak that's going to last several weeks. I will be able to Olympic lift when I get to my competition. But hindsight's 2020. There is no shoulda, woulda, coulda. But it probably would have been a little bit smarter of me to have just taken the time off, fully recovered, and then come back when I have zero doubt in my ability to lock the bar out overhead. Because my shoulder and elbow just aren't there yet. I have to give it that time to come back. Because if I let it fully recover and just doing my resistance band stretches, just maintaining at the most minimum that I can do while it just allows itself to get at full strength again, letting it come back at full strength on its own time will give me much more room to have more strength than trying to force it to be better when it's not. Giving myself the placebo mentally that I'm ready when I know I'm not. So, as much as I fucked around this week and how much things did not go the way I ever expected it to, especially the program cycle before this current one was the best training I've ever had. So no, I definitely did not expect to have gotten knocked down so hard. But look back at the beginning of this program cycle. I came back after doing nothing for a week because I was traveling and hit a 265 snatch PR on an accessory day without any prep. That's insane. And as insane as it is, it really shows that I'm getting a little bit back into my old mistakes where I'm doing too much right out the gate to where I peak the first week and have to slowly, wean off as I go throughout the program when it's supposed to be getting heavier. I should have been doing the 265 accessory days on the peak week because that's when I have the peak, the build-up to do that type of stuff, not on the first day. So I kind of started the program out already too hard, and every day had been getting harder and harder and harder. So all there is to do now is to wait. I don't know what the training's going to be like this week. I really don't. I have tomorrow and the next day in town, and then I'm going to spend 2 days traveling where I have to rest. So I don't know if I'm going to rest the next 4 days. I probably won't because I want to maintain at least a little bit so that I have that confidence. I will have Friday and Saturday to train, and then I lift on Sunday. So the bare minimum, I'm doing those 2 days, just getting whatever work I can in before I go for my big day. So if I don't feel good, I might just do a full hard reset. Even if my max out even if I'm not even close to my max out when I go to the competition, it is not about hitting your new heaviest weight. It is about giving yourself the availability to do the best that you can with what strength you have in that day. It doesn't matter if it's your first competition or the last. You cannot force a PR when your body is not ready. You do the best you fucking got in that present moment. And that's something that I've had to reteach myself this past month. I've gone way too hard. It's got me very excited and very motivated and very inspired to create some new guidelines for the next program cycle. But we got to do this competition first. So whether I rest the rest of the week or I do some super light training days along the way, I will be back. I will 100% do my best. And no matter what, I'd rather injure myself in comp going as hard as I can after allowing my body all the time that it could possibly need to recover than injure myself the week prior chasing a number that I knew I didn't have in the first place, all to satiate my ego. Physically, although I absolutely crumbled today, it's the best squatting I've ever done. If I put on 485, we all know I would have PR'd. And if I'd gotten to do my Olympic lifting this week, I probably would have hit 495. This is not a peak. This is not a peak week. I've just been fucking around, not doing exactly what I should be doing, but that's how we learn. So I'm going to take it on the chest, take it off the edge of my chin, great assault, and just work with it. But despite not being able to do it, it's some of the best form, best confidence I've ever had. My knee doesn't hurt. I can't be I can't really be upset about today. I'll give it an absolutely solid 9.3. It's not the best I've ever felt, but that's even better. The fact that I came in on a day where I'm not absolutely fully physically peaked and still got that close to such a heavy fucking number. We're going to be squatting 500 pretty soon, my boys. It's going to be crazy. So, mentally, I'm excited and I'm humbled and I've learned, but it's not the best feeling to know that all I can do really is just sit around and wait. I don't like waiting. I'm very impatient sometimes. I try not to be because I truly love this sport and I don't want to injure myself further than I already have in the past. And that's how you learn. But I care so much that it kills me when it gets to this point. But I will hold it together. I will learn from this. And I have to be grateful that I'm not currently injured like I used to be. And that I have the capability of bringing it back and doing the absolute best that I can do when I get to the competition next week. One way or another, mentally, I'll still give it a solid 8.4. 8.2. I don't even want to be I don't want to give myself more just because my physical was so good. It's been a tough week. Truly. I didn't expect to hit such a roadblock right at the end. But this is how you get better. You accept every roadblock as they come, overcome it, and become better along the way. And sometimes the best way to overcome your biggest obstacles is to walk away altogether and come back when you know you're ready. Appreciate y'all hearing me yap. I didn't have a lot of video today, so I don't know how much will be there, but whatever. I appreciate y'all hanging out one way or another. I wanted to make sure I got to do a video before I might not do one for the remainder of the most of this week until I do my deload stuff. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. But one way or another, I'm happy. I'm grateful. I will do my absolute best when I go compete. I don't care what I lift. I'm going to give it my best. So I will be back some point this week. You'll see me, but we're going to make sure we get a hard reset first. Let me know how to lift someone live's been going. I love hearing about it, and I will be back as always. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.